Maboy pageant fans, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hey RMG, how are you all doing? Well, I know it's Holy Week right now, and I'm supposed to take it easy and spend more time reflecting after I just came back from Bangkok, but I can't help but share the insights I just thought of or the valuable lessons that I learned from covering the finals night of Miss Grand Thailand last weekend. You may think we are just watching a yet another spectacular show from Papa Nawat, but I feel he is subtly giving hints as to how he runs his pageant business and eventually chooses his winners. So, here they are. So, first lesson that I learned, Papa Nawat likes his contestants to be not just a beauty queen with great communication skills, but also a great talent and performer as well. There is no doubt that the highlight of the show, apart from crowning Ning Patama towards the end of the night, was a grand opening number featuring Gotcha Bell. Diba? Kayo ba? Ganun din ba yung feeling nyo? The opening number featuring an integration of a dynamic water system featured a sophisticated rain curtain that could be programmed to fall in patterns, creating a literal circle of water around Gotchabil. That was a goosebump moment. And how the MGI production team captured it was definitely one for the books because it employed an overhead camera angle which captured a very surreal cinematic effect of the water hitting the stage in a perfect ring, framing Gotcha Bell as she performs that high difficulty choreography in the center of what looks like a storm. And with Gotcha Bell's amazing dancing talent, it's only now that I realize that a winning MGI contestant has to possess a great dance talent. Because the girl doesn't only need to know how to dance, but also needs to emphasize her rhythm and athletic ability to do this kind of performance on stage. Because aminin naman talaga natin, guys, dancing in heavy beaded couture while literally being drenched is a logistical nightmare. And so it requires huge core strength talaga to avoid slipping and a high level of breath control to maintain those pageant-ready expressions while hitting your face. And and nakita nyo naman, di ba? And so we saw somewhat a main character energy pa rin from Gotcha Bell with that level of ferocity usually reserved for concert artists like Rihanna or Beyonce. And so nakita naman talaga natin the transition from standing choreography to the floor work felt like less of a pageant walk and more like a professional music video. So in a way, Miss Grand International is kind of setting some sort of a standard or model here for all its eventual queens figuring in their high-level types of production. Na the eventual winner has to possess a perfect physical regimen because there is nowhere to hide in that wet, clinging outfit. And apart from that, she has to have that strong resilience as literal rain, di ba? Nakita niyo naman requires a grand mental toughness and above all, a strong commercial appeal. As this kind of dance number or content is designed for this TikTok and Reels generation na highly shareable, visually arresting, and way impossible to scroll past. So, what is Papa Nawaz subtly telling his legion of grand followers like me here? That his pageant is all about providing entertainment across the board. While other pageants move towards impact and leadership, Nawat's MGI system is heading towards fully into that grand showgirl archetype na a grand total performer who thrives on stages and in the digital marketplace. It's as if Papa Nawat wants to tell the whole world right now that his grand queen should ultimately be the elite entertainer, highly trained, disciplined, and designed to attract massive commercial patronage through charisma and stagecraft. Hence, a Miss Grand contestant is a triple threat: model, idol, and brand ambassador. What do you think? And now we go to my second lesson, and I guess this lesson is something that you all should know by now, that the bestseller ultimately wins the title. Actually, like I said earlier, this lesson is no longer surprising as we had seen this from the results of Miss Universe Thailand last year, wherein Vina Pravina was also declared the bestseller of that edition. And we saw that scenario repeat when frontrunner Miss Chonburi Ning Patama won this Ultimate Special Award, which I feel became the deal breaker in making her win the crown over the more competitive Miss Phuket, given her killer stage presence, or even Miss Buriram, who came in second not just in the final tally, but also in the live selling special award. Whereas in the Philippines, dito, it's always the best in swimsuit or long gown, which becomes the ultimate precursor of who will eventually win the top titles of the night. In the Watts Grand System, kung napansin nyo, it's always the best seller so far who wins at the end of the day. Kasi nakita nyo naman, di ba? Si Miss Chiang Mai, who was adjudged best in swimsuit of the night, was nowhere to be found in top 11. So yeah, it was kind of a head scratcher for me. So again, let's try to analyze what goes on inside Papa Nawat's head in choosing his winners here. We all know Papa Nawat has never been shy about the fact that Miss Grand International is a business enterprise, as evidenced with his, famous 4B slogan. And as I had said earlier, the placement of Miss Chonburi here as the eventual winner was the ultimate validation of that business model. First, the bestseller logic dictates that Miss Chonburi did not just have a crown, she had receipts to back it all up. Because winning the bestseller award as well as being the brand ambassador for another sponsor like 7th Street, diba? It proved that she could sell or move products, and in Papa Nawat's world, that is the highest form of commercial viability. And then, there is the Miss Buriram paradox or confusion, diba? While Miss Buriram was the clear sentimental and crowd favorite of the night, finishing as first runner-up despite having her massive popularity emphasizes my earlier point. Without that popular vote, which eventually went to Miss Strat, her popularity remained a sentiment rather than a grand moment or a currency. Because, aaminin ko, my heart also kind of sank when Miss Buriram did not win, to be honest. But from the lens of a pageant fan watching the show, there were still many elements missing in Miss Buriram that night, which made me concede in defeat for her as early as evening gown round, because her pasarela skills still needs to be improved. And her yellow gown with a feathered cape reminiscent of Emma Tiglau's winning gown last year was also another thing. But like I said in my Instagram post about her after the finals night, winning first runner-up is not bad. I feel it will still open more doors for her and abroad. And I'm sure she will still be a force to reckon with, whether she ends up going to Miss Globe or Miss Asia Pacific International later that year, as long as she improves her showmanship skills. Now, going back to my earlier point, apart from the Miss Buriram paradox, napansin nyo rin, Papa Nawat's Boss Choice Award was also a safety net in this aspect, because Miss Saraburi, finishing as third runner-up after being declared the boss choice, confirms that Papa Nawat uses this slot to ensure a candidate he personally vouches for, someone who fits his specific evolution vision, is guaranteed a platform in the final five. So what is Papa Nawat trying to point out here overall? Whether it's Nawat or the new Miss Universe Thailand management, the trend here is undeniable. The superstar era of pageantry is the one who is essentially the chief marketing officer of her own brand. So it seems that Papa Nawat has successfully conditioned the audience to accept that a win is not just about who is the prettiest on stage, but who is the most profitable for his organization. Hence, no one can truly complain about the bestseller winning, because the evidence of their worth was displayed on the scoreboard all across the season. And finally, we go to my third lesson. And talagang kailangan isingit pa rin natin ang bansa natin, not just because we're the reigning queen, but it was really glaring during the whole thing. Our country sets another achievement with the Emma Tiglao effect in the world of pageantry. Who here was stunned to see 4 finalists of the top 10 wear a similar design or color of Emma Tiglao's winning orange evening gown designed by Sir Rian Fernandez last weekend? Well, ako talaga, isa ko sa mga taong nagulat, because I was really pleasantly surprised. So what does this say about us, or this so-called Emma Tiglao effect that we saw from MGI Thailand finals last weekend. That it is a fascinating case of how a single winning moment can reset the visual standard for an entire season. I know Emma Tiglao was not the first one who wore this type of gown in a pageant, but this Rian Phoenix masterpiece that she wore highlights a strategic shift in pageant styling. For one, ngayon ko lang talaga na-realize how important color analysis is important in choosing the right gown for a contestant. So, color psychology is really real. Kasi 'di ba, for years, ang nakikita palagi natin sa stage, it's either white or royal blue na nagdo-dominate. However, Emma's victory here in fiery orange burnt gold piece broke the mold. By adopting Emma's strategy, the MGI finalists are subconsciously signaling to Papa Nawat that they are also ready to follow the path of his reigning queen. So, it's a literal attempt to cloak themselves in the energy of a winner who already fits Nawat's current deal. May sense ba? Next is the texture and the wing of the gown. No doubt, Emma's gown was not just orange. It was an architectural feat featuring a full circular feathered cape. Because looking at the Miss Grand Thailand finals, I noticed that the use of a voluminous ostrich feathers and structured wing-like elements has become the new requirement for a grand walk. So the goal now is no longer just to look pretty, it's to create a silhouette that occupies space. And the feathers add that showgirl drama, ensuring that even when the girl stops moving, the gown continues to tell a story of ascension, or parang yung phoenix gown nga talaga ni Emma. So in a way, these gowns are designed specifically for the MGI stage wind machines and wide-angle shots. Like Emma, notice how these girls are prioritizing how the fabric flies during the turnaround. Napansin niyo rin ba? So overall, if you relate this to Papa Nawat again, for sure he loves a good branding moment on stage. Emma Tiglao is currently his most successful queen or model as the reigning Miss Grand International. So seeing his local Miss Grand Thailand girls pay homage to her is not just a fashion choice. It's a show of loyalty to his brand's current identity. So in other words, it's the ultimate grand chess move. Dress like the queen Papa Nawat is currently most proud of, and you might just become the next one. So there you go, guys. What do you think about these valuable lessons or insights that I just shared here? Is it something that you've observed too? Well, let me know if you have other suggestions about my content here. And thank you for watching. And thank you na rin to the entire Miss Grand International Organization led by Papa Nawat and Sir Champ for your warm hospitality. Allowing me to cover this pageant talaga has always been such a delight. And I really can't wait for MGI All-Stars this coming May.